Welcome to Further Channel Analysis, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are watching our channel. I want to say thanks for your continued support. If you are watching our channel for the first time, I want to request you with profound humility that you hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell. Kindly give our videos many likes so that YouTube can recommend them to more viewers. Now, President William Samoei Ruto has been cornered. Raila Amolo Odinga has pushed him to the wall, and the besieged president is now begging the opposition not to go to the streets. In fact, he is calling them to come and work together with him. He's offering an olive branch. This is a U-turn from their earlier position. Because when Raila Amolo Odinga had threatened that he was going to rally his supporters across the world, across the nation, to go on street protest, to protest against the attempts to oust Cherera and her team from office, Mr. Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua trivialized those talks. In fact, Mr. Rigathi himself teased Raila Amolo Odinga and Kalonzo, and he said that if they wanted to take Kenyans to the street, then Kennedy Kalonzo and Winnie Odinga should be brought to Kenya so that they can lead those demonstrations. And Mr. President had likened the noise from the opposition as the biblical noises when Nehemiah was building the walls of Jerusalem. And he said that they will block their ears as the opposition, does their normal work. But today, while he was officiating in opening Twiga Foods in Tetu City, the sentiments are of those of a besieged king. I have always said on this platform, ladies and gentlemen, that William Samoei Ruto has an opportunity to reconcile this country and unite citizens. Because if there is one lucky president I have ever seen, it is William Samoei Ruto. Because if you compare him to his predecessors, in 2007, Mwai Kibaki ascended to power in an environment that was very chaotic. Kenyans were running up and down, butchering each others with IDPs all over. And in 2013 and 2017, the former president Uhuru Kenyatta ascended to power in an environment where people were running helter-skelter to contest election results. But William Ruto, courtesy of the handshake, ascended to power, and the Azimio supporters were quiet because the Azimio supporters had all along thought that they had the deep state, and so Raila was going to ascend to power. They waited until the last minute when the case went to the apex court and it was ruled against them, but they did not go to the streets. But seems like our beloved president is mistaking this for weakness. And I have heard undertones. People are saying that they're ready to go to the streets. Our president and his deputy have always manifested the characters of men of God. In fact, there is a joke going around the country that William Samoei Ruto is God's first son. They go to churches every Sunday. In fact, during their last campaign, they presented themselves to the church as people who love God and that their win, even today, most of their supporters believe that their win came from God. But I want to say this. I'm a Christian. I don't know what Muslims say and what the Quran says. But at the center of Christianity, the principle has always been that of forgiveness and reconciliation. Jesus, whom we follow, forgave those who crucified him. And I don't want to go that direction. I'm not preaching. But I'm only saying that if William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua want to show Kenyans that they mean well, that every time they go to church, in fact, I've seen William Ruto sometimes preaching and reading the Bible, leading song services. I want him to now be true to himself and forgive those who did not support him. The way he did with people like Kinoti and Waten, because I think people like Kinoti are no longer being pursued. But with Madam Cherera and her team, let us reconcile this country. Raila Odinga had accused William Ruto and his administration of being dictatorial and that they are vengeful. But in a quick rejoinder, William Ruto is now saying that the opposition wants to perform a dictatorial kind of dictatorship. Between the two, between the government and Azimio, who do you think here is becoming dictatorial? Is it William Ruto or Raila Odinga? I know you are going to answer this depending on which political affiliation you belong. But William Ruto knows Raila Odinga well. Raila will start something and it looks like it's a trivial thing, like Gachagua and Ruto are trying to believe that this is something that is useless. But with the time it will build. And this is the reason why I think William Ruto is now coming back to his senses. Because he knows that if Raila makes good his threat and people go to the street, because I heard Raila saying that it is not only going to be in Nairobi, it is going to be in Nakuru and Mombasa and Kakamega. It is going to be chaotic and it is going to mean that people are not going to go to work. Already William Ruto is grappling with unemployment, shortage of food, drought and hunger, insecurity and all that. The last thing that William Ruto would want to hear is a situation where people are going to go to the street, because when people go to the street, ladies and gentlemen, it means that there is no manpower. People are not going to go to work. So even the little menial jobs that they do are going to stop. The mama mboga will close the shop. The boda will not be working. And that is serious loss of revenue. I have had William Ruto set a target of revenue collection and even ask the clergy to pray for him so that we can meet our target. But if he allows people to go to the street, then Kenya is going to plunge deeper and deeper into economic turmoil. And what that means is very simple. A hungry Kenyan will do anything. And William Ruto is trying to put things together so that he prepares for 2027. But while doing this, he is opening up one hole while trying to fill another. While he's trying to interfere with the IBC to ensure that he gets it easy in 2027, he doesn't mean well to the Kenyan mwananchi and people will go to the street. So let him come and meet all the stakeholders and unite this country. Presidency or that office is a symbol of unity because he's a Kenyan president. He has got this golden opportunity that he should not waste. How I wish that he does not let it go to the street, because by the time we will be reeling from the aftermath of demonstration, it will be too messy and too late for us. When people get to the streets, the police will be up in arms with them, and there will be tear gas and live bullets, and people are going to lose unnecessary lives. One life lost is a life too many. And William Ruto, being a Christian, must not soil his hands with blood for something that he can easily deal with. What Raila is asking is to allow Kenyans to move on. Because Raila is saying that even after the ruling of the Supreme Court, even after Martha Koome talked of non-judicial language like hot air and wild goose chase, they accepted and moved on for the sake of healing of the country. But Raila reads mischief that William Ruto, instead of taking that opportunity to unite Kenyans, he is on a fishing expedition, looking for someone to punish. Selective justice. And they are saying that they are going to meet this with a lot of opposition. How I wish that the president grabs this opportunity to avert an oncoming bloodshed. Ladies and gentlemen, the country that is already divided will plunge into more division. Because when people go to the street, it will be Azimio against Kenya Kwanza. And you know what that means? Tribalism. Because the Kikuyu nation and the Kalenjin nation largely form part of the Kenya Kwanza. Well, if you look at Kalonzo, Martha Karua and Raila, you will see the Luos and the Kambas and even western part of Luyas. You've seen the ethnic undertones that are going on. We are sitting on a time bomb. This is a volcano waiting to erupt. So William Ruto should not let people go to the street. He has an opportunity. Let the deputy president, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua, he is elected to help his boss, gives moral support, and even sometimes to advise. How I wish that they should see the bigger picture. Let them not be obsessed by who takes political mileage. Because the current administration is obsessed with two things. One, to ensure that they, tell Kenyans that the previous administration was responsible for every predicament that was bedeviling Kenyans. And two, to ensure that they paint opposition in bad faith. But you see, both the opposition supporters and the government supporters are taxpayers. Raila controls over 8 million people in Kenya, those who are paying taxes. Hunger does not choose your political affiliation. And I want to call upon the president, as a Christian, as a holder of an office which is a symbol of national unity, please don't let people go on the streets. And I want to tell you that William Ruto seems to have read this coded language and is now offering an olive branch. Be true to yourself, Mr. President, and let history be written on your favor that you averted a possible division, a possible loss of revenue, a possible loss of lives by not allowing people to go to the streets. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think, but that is my take.